Thank you so much, Sam. And thanks a lot for saying yes when I volunteered to give this speech at the meeting you're hosting. As a self-proclaimed expert in the topics of holidays, I decided to completely ignore all the scientific research or historical information which I'm sure available on this topic. And I decided to find my own answer to the question why. What is so special about these special occasions, besides presents and food and company? What is so special which makes us strive to celebrate them, even if we are away, no matter where we are, at sea and space, in the middle of nowhere? Well, after watching Sam's video, you probably think it's obvious. And I tend to agree with you. You're certainly subject matter experts. They say that it takes 10,000 hours of deliberate practice to master anything. And guess what? With 10 holidays every year, many of us have achieved the threshold already. And those who haven't yet will, pretty soon. Anyway, my personal reflection on the theme of this meeting led me down the rabbit's hole of reinventing the wheel. Actually, as a Russian language person, I would rather say rediscovering America. Anyway, one way or another, I'm looking forward to sharing with you the results. Fellow holiday experts, imagine that you have to work on November 25 this year. There will be no presents involved. You expect to be alone. And you probably will be unable to put your favorite Thanksgiving dishes on the table. The reason is not important, maybe completely benign. Maybe out of the blue, you decided to become a sailor and swim across the Atlantic alone. One way or another, the question is, will you still try and celebrate Thanksgiving? And I dare to say, yes, you will. We will. No matter where we are, what the circumstances are, what we are doing, we will find a way and a reason to say thank you. Because it's a tradition. And we all know that without our traditions, our lives will be as shaky as the fiddle on the roof. But why? Why tradition helps us level and balance our lives? And actually, it's very hard for me to answer, or very easy, actually, sorry about that. It's very easy for me to answer the question. Because as an immigrant, I know that very few ways are available to us to maintain our connections to families, to our ancestors, and to the culture of our home countries. And one of these few ways is to continue celebrate, observing our country holidays. And I want to give you an example, because this observance of our home country holidays means actually celebrating even the most illogical, if you look from outside, holidays. One of the biggest celebrations in my home country, which is Ukraine, or in Russia, is bigger than New Year, is bigger than Easter or Christmas. Anybody can guess what this holiday is? It's the International Women's Day on March 8th. And I promise you not to go into the scientific or historical details, but I lied a bit because I want to tell you a little bit about the history of this holiday. So we all know it's being celebrated now in the United States and all over the globe on March 8th. And the celebration, the celebration started in 1975 when the United Nations announced this holiday as an international commemoration of women achievements and accelerating the gender equality. That was the official goal of the holiday. But guess what? So it happened relatively recently. But there are two countries in this world which started celebrating this holiday much earlier than anybody else. You know one of these countries, right? It's the United States. So the very first International Women's Day, which at that time was still National Women's Day, was celebrated in New York in 1909. And the celebration was held for 5 years in a row, and then it ended with World War I. And what is the second country? It's the Russian Empire. On March 8, 1917, and I want you to remember this year, March 8, 1917, there was a very large manifestation by women for their voting rights. And I want to tell you two facts. Number one, they actually got it. Even SARS wouldn't mess with Russian women. So they got their their voting rights just 4 days later after this protest. But there was another very large consequence. Actually, these protests sparkled the Great Russian Revolution of 1917. So it was a very big deal. And to commemorate this event, the official holiday was established by Soviet Union on March 8th of 1921. So exactly 100 years ago. But here the interesting part comes. I told you what this holiday is about, and actually you knew it before I told you about it. I told you how it started, and it was actually led by socialist and communist parties all over the world at that time. But it very quickly lost all political flavor in Soviet Union. And actually I wasn't able to find any explanation why. I just know that right now, the International Women's Day in Russia and all other former Soviet republics, which are now independent countries, independent states, has nothing to do with commemorating women's achievements or accelerating gender equality. And it almost hurts me to tell it to you, but it brings so much nostalgia to my heart. And I'm telling you, everyone around the world who has the Soviet Union origin, they celebrate Women's Day in a completely different way than you do or any other people on the planet. This day is the most beautiful, the most romantic, even though romance is not required, and the most illogical mix of Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, a bit of Christmas, celebration of spring, Easter, and some other bits and pieces which have no counterparts in the American culture. This is the day when women are celebrated by everybody, women and men equally, just for being women. And this is a little bit counterintuitive and against what the International Women's Day is about. We have traditions which are very hard to explain to people from outside. For example, all men will assume all domestic duties on the day, taking out the garbage, doing the dishes, doing the floors, cooking, you name it. And it probably sounds good, right? As long as you forget that they don't do it ever the rest of the year. And actually, we have a lot of jokes and anecdotes about it. And I was trying to find at least one I could tell here today. And I tried with my friends, nobody laughed. So I decided to skip this part. Anyway, this holiday may seem completely odd to you, but the very hallmark of accepting this holiday, celebrating it this way, without questioning of what we are doing, is the feature of anyone who belongs to the Russian culture. It brings back the memories of me and my sister making our very first greeting cards for my mom and grandmother. All the gifts my dad would give to all four of us all the very strange and silly presents from boys we would bring from kindergarten and school. And I still have some of them. And I'm telling you, some of them would make a perfect hit during a white holiday party, white elephant party. And a lot of flowers. We have very special selection of flowers just for this day in the year, March 8th. We have snowflakes, we have lilies of the valleys, tulips, and of course mimosa. A lot of yellow mimosa. Everything will be filled with this aroma. And I think that these memories of my childhood, of what happened to me through my life in Soviet Union or here, connects my heart to all other hearts of people with the same ancestry. For the past generations and those who will come after us. Traditions, connections, and memories are the three answers to the questions I asked in the beginning: the what, the why, and the how of the holidays. And I believe that the memories are at the center of this puzzle. I was actually very hesitant to give you my next example, but I think I can still do it. I decided to go for it. And I hope you will understand me, because it's September, right? And we just commemorated the 20 years anniversary of 9/11. On September 11, 2001, I was on my way to the Ukrainian capital, Kiev, to apply for my very first US visa. I didn't know what happened until I saw all the flowers and candles in front of the American embassy. The flowers and candles and quiet and disbelief. This is what started forming my image, my personal image of 9/11. A friend of mine had a completely different experience. She was in the Pentagon when the plane crashed into the building. Her image of 9/11 was a disgustingly rich mix of smells, scares, sounds, and smoke, and death. By no means we share remotely comparable experiences, but we had a chance to share our personal memories on 9/11 of this year, and it connected us heart to heart. An old French proverb says that gratitude is a memory of the heart. And I decided to expand on it a little bit. I think that all cherished memories, tragic or joyful, or maybe simply silly, live in our hearts. And this memory connects us throughout the whole humankind. And I had this image in mind of all of us connected by memories coming from one person to another, thousands, 10,000, millions of people. And I thought I was the one who came up with this picture, but of course I was not. This image was inspired by something I saw before. And I wanted to show it to you because the picture is mesmerizing, I believe. Let me share my screen. What you will see right now is a footage, an accelerated footage of the Earth from a satellite during night. And I will stop talking so you can hear the sound. This is what I think about happening during holidays. During holidays, we build this memory, we share them, and we bond over them. And each time we celebrate together, at the scale of the humankind, at the scale of a country, at the scale of a family, or a Toastmaster club. We create a memory search which connects to us and those people who are no longer with us, and those who will come later, through space and time, from heart to heart. I have a friend who has a purpose. He wants to help people create memories. And I think it's a beautiful cause, because creating memories will give some meaning to our life. But I also want to expand on it. I just cannot help myself changing stuff. I suggest that we think about creating and building memories together for connection. My most favorable and cherished newly acquired holiday here is Thanksgiving. One day I was invited to share this holiday with another family, with a friend of mine. My husband was invited, and my dog came uninvited. And we actually were a huge failure. I brought a salad. I was asked to bring in green salad, and I brought a traditional Russian salad full of mayonnaise. Nobody liked it, but had to pretend they did. My husband was feeding my dog under the table with the delicious pieces of turkey. And my dog attacked the cat who belonged to a friend of mine. So it was a huge failure. But I will always remember that day. It brought me the gift of this holiday by people sharing it with me, and I will always remember it. I'm not going to recite the conclusions I have from the reflection on this holiday, but I have a suggestion, a very small suggestion, just for us as Toastmasters, at NPS Toastmasters, actually. I have some concern about something I think we lost when we switched from one educational program to another. I remember when I joined Toastmasters, we have this competent communicator track, and we were moving from the icebreaker all the way up to the persuasive, to the inspirational speech. And the thing we lost, I think, is a celebration of the speech. Do you remember? Like, show me by your hands. Who remembers? Who enjoys speech number 10? Standing ovations. And we were moving there together. Why wouldn't we do it again? Let's choose one of the speeches. There is actually one speech in any Pathways manual, which is a persuasive speech. Why wouldn't we add it to our standing rules, that we will celebrate it together? We will create this memory, which will connect us. People who are present there, who were there before, and who will come after us. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.